today.
And we are underway in Buffalo. Taking it about the 1. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 17 carries, 76 yards.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up against a team that struggled against the run has only emboldened them to run the football more. I expect 40 to 50 carries in this game.
And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27. Well, this defense for the Bills, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That third down conversion good for 23. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Well, that'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Lawrence. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. McCaffrey running up the middle. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, Lawrence. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. McPherson's kick is good, and the opening drive for the Dolphins yields 3. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. They'll start on the ground with Kelly. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked up by Jamel Dean. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football. Because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing, maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders, who knows what it could be. He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now Lawrence on first down. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
2nd and 6. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by the linebacker, Brian Asamoah. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now a first carry for their fullback. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. 3rd down, here's McCaffrey. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as he'll stop him well short of the yellow line. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. "36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Bills are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. And he's been throwing the ball up for grabs here early on. 2 passes, 2 interceptions. He'll try and rein things in a bit here as he starts again on 1st down. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Running right with Kelly. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll try and run for it with Kelly. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. The Bills had 8 and 5 to start play. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory. And
he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Flushed out right. Got a man on the right sideline. It's Strickland. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He'll leave it for Kelly, complete. And he showed a nice little juke, but then the window quickly closed. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. A great effort there. His 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bills have taken the lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line. because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
A nice little juke, and he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 40 yards rushing for him now to this point. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Trying to get to the outside. This is McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3. Well, they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And the Bills will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
They tried to make something happen, but that one came up incomplete and really wasn't a good-looking throw.
Yeah, maybe even go as far as to call that a little ill-advised.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's the right phrase for it. Definitely ill-advised. Just wonder about his mechanics right now, you know, and that's the tough part. You do so much stuff in practice to make it repetitive, but it has to repeat under pressure, whether it's pressure from the defense or just the pressure of playing the game. We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the 1st down.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Wide open receiver complete. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. A great play there. With a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Extra point splits the uprights. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Here's the Bills kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. That's complete to Tyler Johnson.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Throwing again here. It's Lawrence.
And this one is incomplete.
Over the dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they were able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes the return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll keep it in the hands of Kelly. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
He'll drop to throw, and he fires one incomplete.
These 2 division rivals, a couple of late games on the schedule this year. Their first meeting, you might remember, was back in Week 10, and it was the Bills winning on the road, so they look for the sweep here in Buffalo.
41 right here. 60 Vikings, 60 Vikings. 19 Lions.
On play action, they'll throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
And those 2 just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's caught by Kelly. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down. Here's Tressway now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
On first down, Lawrence. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Lawrence's throw complete there to Johnson.
The Bills bring out a couple of extra defensive backs to defend this third down play.
Yeah, they're going dime. Lawrence will throw. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is taken at about the 14. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground here on first down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. 2nd and 9 now. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
It's taken to the 26, and he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8, and out will come the offense as they take over. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Now Lawrence. Throw left side complete. That's Andrews. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Lawrence. Sends it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
On 2nd and inches, Lawrence. Johnson's got it complete. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
2nd and 2. 1st down marker at the 8. Here's Lawrence. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And the Dolphins are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1. Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
On 2nd and goal, Lawrence. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And Brown's got it for a Dolphins touchdown. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Dolphins have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. Lawrence going to look to throw for it. And he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the 4th. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done. Get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
Out come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And as we take a look at the playoff picture, certainly still a lot of jostling to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
So much to play for, and remember, 7 teams in each conference go to the playoffs instead of 6. And not to mention, remember when the league made that move a few seasons ago to put divisional games at the end of the year? So you get to week 16 and 17, you're playing for playoff spots, and you're playing divisional games. Couldn't be more exciting than that.
Setting up the screen to Kelly. And they're going to get this up to midfield. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry up. A give up the middle to Kelly. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They'll go again with Kelly. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this will be a dump off for Kelly. And he is going to lose yardage here. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackled him for a loss.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. And his kick here is good. And the Bills have taken the lead here in the 4th. So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the fourth quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there. All that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Lawrence. It's complete to Brown, right side. So the completion good for 7 there, and that will bring up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
That is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. But Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Now Lawrence to throw. On a huge mistake late, it's intercepted. And the Bills are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line. Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes you're fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Again, it's Kelly. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this 3rd down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the 1st down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
Here's Tressway now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Less than 2 to play with just a field goal separating these two sides. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Lawrence. In a close game like this, Charles, those interceptions like they had on the last drive could be costly, but here they've got another opportunity to seize control of this game.
And they better take advantage of it because otherwise, if they end up losing by 1 score, they'll relive this over and over and over until they have another opportunity to wipe it away.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Lawrence. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. So a pressure spot here for Evan McPherson.
This to tie things up in the final minute.
McPherson's kick is good.
And that will tie this game here in the final minute of play.
So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over.
Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see what they can do.
And you're right about that, because if we look at it in macro, that's what it looks like.
And now the rookie's free. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. Kelly to try to punch it in. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the fourth. Extra point attempt to come here. And they will take a 7-point lead now. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content.
And that's caught inside the 35. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Back to throw, Lawrence. He'll get this underneath to McCaffrey. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
They moved the ball over 50 yards between this